Do you know that turning classical music into house music is not as difficult as you think? I can tell you that is pretty easy. In today's video we're gonna be doing just that. We're gonna be turning this track into this track. So I want to give you a step-by-step guide on how I do it, and you'll see that it's pretty easy to do it. The first step, you need to choose what track you want to flip. This looks pretty easy, but it's not that easy in my opinion. You see, we understand classical music as one homogeneous thing, but it's a pretty long period in history. In fact, some of the composers that we understand as classical music were born hundreds of years apart. And in my experience, it usually works better when we are trying to flip something that is recent, like kind of close to us. It's not the same flipping something from 1800s than flipping something from 1400s. Anyways, you do you find your own thing. I just tell you that I prefer sampling or actually flipping something like newer. You can choose whatever you want to. Then once you choose what you want, you need to go to step 2, which is play it or sample it or grab it somehow. One way to do it, and one way that I actually particularly like to do it, is grabbing MIDI files. You see, in classical music everything is transcribed, and everything is transcribed 1 million times by 1 million different people. So in this case I'm gonna be turning Gnossienne from Eric Satie. I mean, if you just write that MIDI, it's super common to find it, and I'm pretty sure that if you want to turn Chopin, Debussy, Mozart, you name it, it's gonna be there. So you just write the name of the piece that you want to turn, and then you write MIDI, and that's that. Then you just grab the MIDI file, and now let's go into Ableton. I have the MIDI file, I drag and drop, and it's there, just like that. Now, I'm gonna put a piano for each one of them. So I'm just gonna take it from here, drag and drop. So there it is, just like that. And now we come to step 3, which is make it yours. How do you make it yours while keeping it? In my experience, the best thing to do is to try to find what makes a track recognizable. So in this case, it's definitely the melody. So listen to this. I'm pretty sure you've heard this before, but maybe you can't quite place it. So in this case, it's actually the melody, but in other tracks, it can be the chord progression, it can be the rhythm, I mean, you name it. Try to make whatever makes a track recognizable stand out. I want to grab these few first bars. The way I'm gonna make it mine is with the sound design, right? So first of all, look for a Pigments instance, just drag and drop it here to a new track, and I'm going to, or just copy and paste actually. I'm gonna copy and paste this here. I have this preset from Pigments that I really love. By the way, Pigments is just the best synthesizer there is. I mean, the possibilities are endless. So this Digital Skies preset, if you have Pigments, is pretty awesome. So shout out to Gabrielle Salvage for making. So let's go to the synthesizer. First thing first, this MIDI file has the piano articulation. If you see, it has like several MIDI events, but here I just want to create a texture with a note, so I don't want to actually have this rhythmic pattern in the bass. So I'm just gonna drag and drop these 2 notes, which are like the most important ones, and here I'm just gonna do the same with these ones. So that's gonna just give us a texture. And now what I'm going to do is to have a filter that is a low pass filter. Just gonna turn down that resonance way down. That's good. And now let's go for the actual tempo that we want to go for. It's gonna be Let's go for 131, more or less. Let's find some drum loop. Let's try to find something that goes with the piano, so it's just not that sad alone piano right there. And now let's add here a bass. Let's actually copy this pattern here. One trick for that is you press B, you put it the first note, and now you can right click and then says chop notes on the grid. That's Command E. So if we press Command E, but you don't let go of the command and then you start dragging up and down, that's gonna make equal divisions. That can be pretty handy for some situations. In this case, I just want to chop it to the grid. So now let's find some sound. Let's find some kind of FMs. This is like way too much. Actually, this might be a little bit too much. Let's chop it to the grid, but let's have the grip to be 1/8 more or less. Yeah, again. What if we move them just one to the right? That sounds pretty reasonable. So let's add some reverb to the piano, some reverb to this. So that now that you made it yours, the first thing that you need to be thinking about is to find a B section. Right now we are like making the track grow by adding more tracks, and that's not what you want. There are pretty many ways to do it. You could completely come up with a totally new B section by just making your own thing, but you also try to make from the track itself. So we could try to grab a different part of the track. So something like that, and then from there we could try to build up a B section and then try to have some kind of connection between both of them. So if we just do that and we chop up, let's say all this part, we copy and paste it here just to be in a non-super clutter environment. So if we just, if we just go for the different instruments that we've been using, same for the lower part. Something we could, for example, have a new track where, we add some new sounds such as, such as new bass. For example, let's try a 303. Let's see how that vibes. Not good. Okay, what if I select everything and chop it to the grid? Hey. I mean, this seems silly, but maybe it can lead us somewhere. I mean, we can get crazy with it, right? With this, right? We can like look for a envelope follower. In case you don't know what that is, you're gonna see. It's gonna just take the wave shape, and you can map it to different parameters. So if we map that to the filter cutoff, then we can top it up with a topper. Actually, the same one we were using, just to see how it sounds. We can double this up with a piano, maybe. I don't know. There are so many options, and from there you should try to connect them. I'm gonna be working on this. I don't want to bore you to death with my process, but if you would like to see some longer videos doing that, just let me know down in the comments. I think that's pretty much everything I wanted to say. I like doing these things, you know. Actually, I have a few tracks where I do exactly this. If you want to check them out, you can find them here. And thank you very much for watching. If you liked it, then subscribe, like, comment in the comments if you would like to see something specific. Thank you very much for watching, and yes, see you in the next one. Bye.